live on the air. I'm Richard Saile.
This is wild.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Loungetime. I'm your host, Rich Saile. I know it's been a very long time since I did an episode, but I have explaining. Don't worry, okay? Last week, I wanted to try to do Loungetime from the cruise that I was on, but guys, I literally looked and I could not find one spot on this dang vessel where I could literally do it. But we have a lot to clearly go over. This will be a little bit different than what we've usually done weekly because it's been, really, you guys haven't been informed in the last 2 weeks. But, if I'm being totally honest, we would have just did the same thing like we would have normally did it like weekly. We would have basically just talked about week 16, week 17, all basically teams that are basically playoff teams. So, which is really what we're doing today. I mean, the only difference is, like, we're just talking specifically just the playoff teams. Any notes that I have that caught my eye as far as, like, are they going to be all right in the playoffs? Are they going to be one and done? Could they make a little run? Guys, I went through everybody that's still in it. And I have kind of some opinions that might be factual. Some guys may think it's clownish. I don't care. This is really what you're going to get right now. So this is how it's going to work. We're going to go over the AFC picture first. We're going to go over the NFC next, and then I'll go into picks. I'm going to try to keep this short, guys, because there's a lot of teams obviously to go over, and that's really simple. So I'll make this quick as I can, guys. And then I know you guys are probably like wanting to know the scenarios. I will pull those up really quickly as we go into picks. So, yeah, let's get started. All right, so we're going to start with the AFC playoff picture. We got to talk about the Baltimore Ravens, who just clinched the AFC's number 1 seed, home field advantage, the AFC North. They came off 2 wins over 2 playoff teams. One of them being my pick to win it all, which is the San Francisco 49ers, which I actually watched that game on Christmas Day. Yes, they showed games on the boat, okay? Which I was very happy because it would have been a long 12 days that I was on that boat. Anyway, Lamar Jackson played well. I think it's to the point where I think the MVP race is over. Okay? I think the games that he had against the Lions, the Niners, and Miami recently, which I also watched on the boat, those games alone, I think, sealed his MVP status, that he's going to be the MVP this year. Do I think they're a foregone conclusion lock to make the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl? No! I don't think they're a foregone conclusion. I think they're one of the high favorites to come out of the AFC. But I do remind people, and I got to point this out because there's some family members watching, family friends, that know exactly where I'm going with this. The last time the Ravens were this good, people gave them the Super Bowl when they beat the Rams on Monday night a few years back. Sorry, Yoham. I'm sorry, Uncle Al. I'm putting you guys on blast. You guys literally handed them the championship that year at that time. You know how I know? If you guys remember, guarantee it's my dad and I do for college football. We didn't do it this year because it was a little tough because I have some things that I usually have during the week that are keeping us from doing it, and so does Hay. Nothing bad, but, you know. But they handed them the championship that year after they beat the Rams in the Coliseum on Monday night. So Yoham, Uncle Al, are you handing them the Super Bowl championship this year? And I'll talk a little bit more because I know. Speaking of Yoham, we'll get to another team later that he informed me on. In case you guys don't know, he's actually Loungetime's biggest fan. Sorry, Vin. Sorry, Joey. You guys are not the number one OG Loungetime fans. This dude is literally commented on every single video. Anyway, back on topic. I don't want to hand the Ravens the Super Bowl just yet. I think that's a little premature. I still think the 49ers are my pick to win it all. I still think Buffalo is not out of the equation yet. I think if they beat Miami, I think they're going to be serious players. I think a team like Dallas is coming along. I don't know. I don't think they're going to win it, but I think they're going to put up a fight. I think Detroit's coming along. I think the Cleveland Browns are no joke. Okay? I don't think it's a foregone conclusion the Ravens are winning it. I think everybody wants to hand it to them. They think it's Lamar Jackson's time. Be careful. Because the last time people did that, he went 1 and done in the playoffs. I know he's played good the last 2 weeks. I got the stats in front of me. I don't really think I'm going to ramble them off because I got to kind of get into these other teams. But Zay Flowers has been doing well for them, their first-round pick. Isaiah Likely's been a good replacement for Mark Andrews, sorry. The defense has been playing outstanding. They've been getting the takeaways. They've been getting sacks. They've been getting away with takeaways. The only thing that worries me a little bit is the penalties are high, but I absolutely do think this team is AFC Championship material worthy. I do think if they play a team like maybe Buffalo as a 6 or 7 seed, or if they play Cleveland, I think they'll get a little sweat in the first game. But I don't think anybody else really gives them a challenge other than really those teams. I do think the Texans are a nice team if they get in. I just don't think they have the horses to go toe-to-toe with them for 4 quarters. I don't think they do. So I'm going to say that the Ravens are picked, I think, to get to the AFC Championship, I think. I don't know if they're going as a lock to the Super Bowl because I think that there's teams like Buffalo and Cleveland that I think could absolutely make them sweat, whether it's in the divisional round or in the championship game. That's why I don't want to put them as a foregone lock to go to the Super Bowl. But I definitely think they have a great shot, without question. But they'll be tough to beat. I think they're legit, for sure. Let's go to Miami, the team that the Ravens just beat. I watched Miami twice, too, against the Cowboys and against the Ravens. The Cowboy game, you saw a good version of Tua. The Ravens game, you saw the Tua that I always expected. He can't beat the elite teams. This is who he is. I don't know why people are scared to say it, but I'm not afraid to say this. He is not a top. I don't think he can beat elite teams. So does that make him an elite quarterback? In my book, no. This season, people are probably going to say he is. I don't think he has. He basically beat up on mostly not-so-great teams. Okay, but when he's played good teams, he sucks. He only has 1 win. That's Dallas. Okay? So, obviously Cheney had a really good game against Baltimore. Tyreek Hill had a good game against Dallas. Did not do well against Baltimore. The defense, when Miami plays well, they're really good. But they just lost Bradley Chubb for the year. Jalen Phillips, they lost early in the year. So Miami is really banged up right now on defense, which I'm not going to lie, guys. I really think Buffalo is a pick against Miami because I don't think Miami, plays good against really good teams, and I don't think that they are going to be good against the big boys in the playoffs. I think those 2 guys, Chubb and Phillips being gone, that hurts them. Offensively, they were pretty good on 3rd down in both of those games. But 1 for 4 in the red zone against Dallas is really worrisome. This is where it's hard for me. Miami can absolutely win a first-round game if they win against Buffalo. But I'm going to say this, guys. If they play the Texans in the first round, I think the Texans could make them sweat a little bit. Because I don't think that the Texans are that bad of a 7 seed. Now, if they win the South, yeah, they can win a first-round playoff game, the Miami. Because, the Colts, Jaguars, Steelers, really? Maybe if they play Buffalo, they could lose. But they're playing Buffalo Sunday. But even if they lost, they would have to go to Arrowhead next week. And I'm sorry, I watched Tua against the Chiefs already this year. He didn't really do that well. So what makes me think now that Tua can go into Arrowhead and beat Mahomes? Nothing. He hasn't beat a good team for his first real playoff game. I don't think he'll play well. So my thing is, Miami could win a first-round playoff game if they win, but if they lose, they're not winning in Kansas City. They're not winning in Kansas City. Because I don't think they could beat them. They have too many injuries. So, and I don't think Tua can beat good teams. That's his resume. So, Miami, they're somewhat fraudulent, but here's the thing. If they get the right matchup, they could definitely win. But they're not a team that's going to make it that far. The ceiling is bare minimum the divisional round. Bare max is the divisional round. They are not getting to the championship game. Mark my words. They're not getting to the championship game. Divisional round, that's it. They are not going anywhere past divisional round. Okay? They might get out of the wild card if they play Kansas City in Kansas City. That's that. Oh, guess what? Guess who's next? Chief Bandwagons, you're up next. Don't think your asses are off the hook. Okay. I couldn't wait for this. So, speaking of Johan, he's watching right now. I was on vacation, enjoying a nice beach day. I won't say where. And, I wrap things up. I get text messages from him. He says to me, I'm like, looking at the score, I'm like, they're up early. No worries. I go check my phone. I see the Raiders are up. I'm thinking, wow, all right, third quarter, they'll win the game. They'll be fine. Kelsey and Rashee Rice, I need fantasy points from them. Mahomes can heat up. Right. You lose by 6. And then I find out, I'm like, wow, you lost to the Raiders. But it's how you lost, which is laughable. Because Aiden O'Connell didn't even throw a damn touchdown pass. The defense scored more points than your offense did. The defense of the Raiders scored more points than their offense did. Jack Jones has a pick 6. Mahomes fumbles. So back-to-back plays, Mahomes gives the Raiders a free 14 points. What? And I didn't watch this game. I'm too busy enjoying my vacation. So, and not only this, I got to say this too. Travis Kelce, you gave me 9 fucking fantasy points. 9 fantasy points! In a game I needed to win that I lost by, guess how many points, guys? I lost in my fantasy semifinal. Guess how many I lost by? 1.2. I lost by 1.2 because Kelsey and ETNs have to score single digits in a must-win for me in a money league where I got my money back, long story short. But I lost by 1.2 and I could have went to the championship game. Got a whole lot more. Because Travis Kelce and ETN scored 9 fantasy points. ETN, I think, scored 6. I don't know if I'm right on that. But he scored single digits for me in a semifinal I had to win against the real number 1 seed in our league. That's that. So Travis Kelce, thank you for shitting the bed in a semifinal game I needed. Okay? That Justin Tucker all of a sudden goes off and scores 16 to beat me. That's painful. So he sold, ETN sold, And I'm not going to blame the kicker because they're not supposed to score a lot. But still, 16 damn points. Justin Tucker has to go off on me. Oh, I'll get to the Eagles. They're not off the hook on this either. No. But the Chief bandwagons, you're next. Okay? This is just a start. Okay? So Travis Kelce fucking sold me. Rashee Rice actually put double digits and put more points up than Kelce the last, I don't know, however many weeks. What, 3, maybe 4? Damn. I mean, Kelce's old, bro. Holy shit. I mean, and guess what? You know what I saw on Twitter the next day? I saw Brady Mahomes and Swift hugging each other. They're sweating. They're nervous. Okay, they weren't happy Christmas Day. How is Tony Romo feeling after his beloved bandwagon Chiefs? How was he during the game, guys? I didn't watch because I didn't need to watch. Was he sounding nervous on the broadcast? Can anybody tell me? Was he feeling good? Because I don't think he was. I think he was sweating because he's like, Mahomes might not go far in the playoffs this year. Yeah, it's not going to happen, Romo. It's not going to happen. Okay? We all know it, bro. Anybody with a freaking brain knows Tony Romo is so biased for the Chiefs. It's nauseating. Okay? It is so nauseating. I saw it against the Bengals where I'm like, bro, shut up. That's literally all Romo does is literally suck up to the Chiefs like it's annoying. Okay? But he won't be doing it this year. He won't be doing it this year because they're going to be out before you know it, guys. Okay? And Chief bandwagons, I'm telling you right now, when you guys lose in the playoffs, you can choose. You want to watch me just absolutely obliterate and roast you guys, okay? And it will happen. It will happen. You guys will be out of the playoffs, and I am going to literally roast you guys like there's no tomorrow, okay? You Chief bandwagon fans need to be sitting the hell down, okay? You had your championship with Tyreek Hill gone last year, okay? I ate a lot of crow. This year, though, you're not that team. You're not that team. You're maybe at best, maybe the 4th or 5th best team in your own conference. You're not that team. Okay? So, that's really that. And now you bandwagons finally realize Matt Nagy might be the problem. You just realized that now. Congratulations. I've said that since week 2. Wow. You guys actually are smart. I've been saying it since week 2. Matt Nagy might have been the problem, and watch. But guess what? Andy Reid didn't remove him of play calling duty, which is perfect right on time for when you guys get bounced the hell out of the playoffs. And guess what? I'm going to have a guest right here celebrating this Chiefs collapse when they get out of the playoffs. I'm marking my words, okay? So you lost to Aiden O'Connell, who barely threw a fucking touchdown pass. Your defense gave up really 6 points, and you lost. You bandwagons are nauseating. Start sweating. You almost lost to Jake Browning Sunday. Okay? You better be praying Buffalo beats Miami. Because guess what? If you have to play Buffalo in the first round, I am going to be all over Josh Allen to win against you so bad. I'd rather have Josh Allen beat you. Okay? And that's my division. I'd rather have Josh Allen beat you. Okay? Than have you guys beat them. Okay, I am so annoyed of these Mahomes apologists. It's nauseating. Okay, it's annoying. Now, guess what? I can't wait for y'all to lose. It will happen. Okay, and I'm putting a guest right here with me to celebrate this shit because it's going to be must-see TV. I already have the props. I'm just not revealing them right now. Okay, it will be funny. Okay, you guys will get a laugh out of it. Don't worry. Okay, but Chief bandwagons, you can choose. You can watch me just absolutely roast and obliterate your team, your quarterback, all that, or you don't have to watch. I'm literally telling you what's going to happen. You are going to get out at least in the divisional round, just like Miami. You may be lucky to win one game in the playoffs. You might be one and done, depending on how you look. Because right now, your offense looks very shaky. And don't listen to Nick Wright, because he's a fucking biased, another one. The head of the fucking snake, who I can't stand. Do not listen to him. He is not telling you the truth. He is so biased. He so desperately wants to put Mahomes on top of his stupid Mahomes mountain. That's bullshit. Anybody that watches that still, you are literally just brain dead. Straight up. You are brain dead if you're watching that shit, okay? I can't watch it no more. That dude literally speaks no truth in his takes at all. He thinks, his takes are great. My ass, okay? My ass. His takes are worse, okay, than mine, okay? And you guys think, supposedly, I don't know football. Okay. Let me know at the end of the show what you think, all right? But you bandwagons, let me tell you right now, if you lost to Aiden O'Connell, I know you're losing in the second round of the playoffs. Mahomes has to go play a road divisional game. There's no more Arrowhead Invitational. That shit's over. Okay? I can't wait for y'all to lose. I'll be right here going, I told you so. I told you this was going to happen. I sensed it from game one. I was like, this ain't the same team. And I watched you guys against Jacksonville this year. I watched you a little bit against the Jets struggle. I watched you guys a little bit this year, and I'm going, they might struggle. They don't look like the same team. And then I really watched you guys fall apart the second half of the year. And I'm like, oh, just wait. I watched that Green Bay. I watched Buffalo. I watched the Bengals recently. I watched you guys literally struggle. Now, good luck, because you guys are not going for it. You play Buffalo, you're losing. Okay? And it will happen. Whether it's in Buffalo or whether it's in Kansas City, you will lose. You are lucky to win a playoff game this year. Book it. So, Chief Bandwagons, you are done. All right? Anyway, we got to speed things up. Let me go to the Jaguars. ETN, you sold me in fantasy, but I can't blame you entirely. I have to blame Doug Peterson for this, because I need to know if it's just me here. I think Doug Peterson gets a little too cute with his passing game. He gets too cute in showing off, oh, let me see what innovative genius I am, and let me show you guys what cool plays I have up my sleeve this week. Instead of going to what actually helped you really win a Super Bowl, which was your running game. Your running game actually helped a lot. Remember when you had LeGarrette Blount in Philly, Corey Clement. Remember when you had Jay Ajayi? You had that deep running game. You have Travis Etienne and Dearness Johnson. Why are you not running the ball more? Okay? Tank Bigsby you have. Run the ball. Stop trusting Trevor all the time to do it. Yes, he's great, but you have a great running game on top of it. You just keep throwing, you're predictable. But he can't help himself. He can never help himself. The Jaguars defense, this unit, again, they are all right. I thought they would be much better. But the last couple weeks, they've kind of looked mid. I don't factor in the Carolina game. I don't really care, because that's Carolina. They're the worst team in football for a reason. The fact that Pitt took them to win the South is bad enough. So, yeah, this is it's been rough for them. But Jacksonville, you're going the wrong way. Tennessee will not be a gimme. You're going to have to fight and scratch and claw your way to win this division. So you guys better wake the hell up fast, because you guys are not playing good football lately. That's kind of my marks on them. But they're going the wrong way. They're going to be one and done in the playoffs if they beat Tennessee. They're going to be one and done, because they would have to play Cleveland next round. And if they don't win the division, they would have to go to Kansas City and they would have to go to Miami. I don't think they could beat either of those teams the way they're playing right now. So, one and done in Jacksonville, possibly eliminated. So, yeah, they're not playing good football right now. They're not playing good football right now. One and done in the playoffs, easily. They won't even win a playoff game, maybe. No, actually, they won't win a playoff game. They won't. That's why I said one and done. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Browns. I watched them play Thursday night against the Jets. And I got to say this, guys. I've watched them the last couple weeks. Joe Flacco, dare I say, is playing really good football. Wow. I never thought I'd be saying this 10 years later, after he beat my team in an AFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl and win. I never thought I'd be saying that. But, yeah, he's playing really good for the Browns. I mean, Njoku has been a very good, reliable option in the passing game. Amari Cooper had a really good game against the Texans. And you basically smoked the Texans most of the game. The Jets, I just turned that off by halftime. I was sleeping, actually, by halftime. But, again, this team is, really playing good football. The Browns' defense, I mean, They had 2 INTs, 3 sacks against the Texans. They had a fumble recovery, 2 sacks, a touchdown, and a pick on the Jets. It's the Jets, okay? They're a very good third down team these last 2 weeks. Only thing I'm a little worried about, guys, is the little things with them, right? And I'm looking at it right now. I just want to make sure I have this right. The penalties and turnovers are getting high last 2 weeks. If they can clean that part up, this team can absolutely make the AFC Championship game. They can absolutely make the AFC Championship game. Okay? If they can clean up the penalties and turnovers, this team is a very dangerous team in the playoffs. They're better than Jacksonville. If they play the Texans, I think they could beat the Texans, honestly. The Colts, I think they could beat. I think if they play Baltimore, it would be a great game. I just don't know if they can definitively beat the Ravens. I think they have a shot. Remember, they went into Baltimore and beat them week 11. And that was with Deshaun Watson before he got hurt. Flacco knows Harbaugh and them very well over there. So I think that would be a great game. And I think the winner of that game has a very strong case to be in the AFC Championship game. But Cleveland absolutely is for real. They could definitely make a deep playoff run. This could be an AFC Championship team, the way they're playing football right now. They're playing outstanding ball. 4-game winning streak. If they clean the little things up, this team is very, very dangerous. Okay? Could upset the Ravens and make them one and done. All right? Which brings me to the Buffalo Bills. I know people are going to look at these games and go, well, you beat a shit Chargers team and you beat a shit New England team by 1 score. They won. Okay? They won. So why are we sweating this? What, because they're afraid to show the Ravens game on the scoreboard? Oh, they can't handle it? They've been built for this. What do you mean they can't handle this? Okay? I'm not at all worried. I think Josh Allen just has to do a better job of just, like, managing the game, not being the one to, like, turn the ball over and be Superman. They've gotten their running game going a little bit. I know the last 2 weeks they haven't, like, had the numbers that say that. But, you know, if they take a lot of the shoulders off Allen, this is a team that I could also see making the AFC Championship game because they've been really close the last couple of years. I know they've been banged up with injuries on defense. That does worry me going into the playoffs for them. I do think so. But their running game with Cook and, you know, Murray, they can be really, really, you know, tough to stop. And then Diggs and Gabe Davis and all those receivers they got, Kincaid, Knox, they can definitely be serious players in the playoffs. I actually think if they were to beat Miami, they have a favorable path than the Ravens do. Because I think they could beat whoever the 7 seed is. I think they could beat the Texans. I think they could beat the Colts, Steelers, Jacksonville, whoever the 7 seed is, they could beat them. And then I think they could beat Kansas City. Because they beat Kansas City recently. Now imagine you get a home playoff game in Buffalo. I would like their chances a whole lot better. So I would go with them. I think they have a favorable path. I think the Ravens against Cleveland is no easy gimme because Cleveland and Baltimore play almost, well, no, they play twice a year, but that would be a third game. And that's a tough game for, you know, Baltimore to open up with Cleveland, especially the way Cleveland's defense is playing. So I think the Bills have the more favorable path to go to the championship game than the Ravens do. So my level of concern is I'm not going to be nervous yet, but I do see the areas that I would be nervous about. But I think this team's an AFC Championship team, possibly. I really do. I think that Bills, Cleveland, and Baltimore are the clear 3 best teams in the AFC. Okay? 2 of them are going to meet in the playoffs. But, again, the bracket's got to be they need 1 day to figure out this bracket, and then once it's set, I'll give you guys the playoff predictions next week. All right? All right, now really what I'm going to do is, like, we got the Texans, Colts, and Steelers, roughly. Okay? All teams vying for that 7th and final playoff spot, obviously. Pittsburgh is not starting Pickett, which I don't understand why. I don't think Pickett was terrible. I just think it was the fact that, you know, they figured out something late in their offense that, you know, they've finally been going off the last couple weeks. But I still think the Steelers are good on defense. I think their offense is starting to pick up some fire, which is good. But I just don't think they have the secondary to stop a Miami. You know, they could maybe make the Chiefs slow, but I just think Mahomes would do just enough to beat them. And then I think that their offense, again, if they play Kansas City's defense, I don't think they would do well. I think Miami's defense, they would do okay. I just don't know if they would do enough. The Colts, they have a good running game with Taylor. Pittman's a good receiver, right? Minshew, I think, is all right. I just don't think that their offense can hang in there with a Miami or a Kansas City defense. So, you know, again, and then I think of, like, the Texans, who I think might be the best 7 seed out of those teams. I think C.J. Stroud, guys, is playing unbelievable football. And I know that people are going to be like, well, it's the Titans, and he didn't look good against the Jets. Well, the Jets are a top defense in the league, and the Titans, I mean, he's looked impressive. I do think, guys, if they were to get the 7 seed and play Miami, I think they could upset Miami. Because I think the Texans actually could have the team to give Miami a sweat. I think they could maybe beat them. Because I think C.J. Stroud, with Miami being Chubb and Phillips out, I think Stroud's going to have a good amount of time to throw the ball. I think those receivers are not bad with that they have. I think their defense is underratedly good. Okay? I just think that they would have a hard time stopping Waddle and Tyreek. But you got to remember, DeMeco Ryans was the Niners defensive coordinator last season, and they played Miami. So he knows the wide zone scheme that McDaniel, that Shanahan, that Sean McVay run. I think the Texans could actually upset Miami if they play in the first round of the playoffs. I would love to see the point spread on that. I would take the Texans plus the points. This is not a bad 7 seed. I think they're actually the best 7 seed options, to be quite frank with you guys. All right, so really that's the AFC. That's kind of like them in a vacuum. The NFC now, the Niners, I'm not worried about them losing to the Ravens. I think they'll be okay. I think that, you know, it happens, right? Baltimore's a juggernaut, right? McCaffrey, I don't expect them to have that bad of a game. Purdy had his worst game, obviously, in his career up to date. I don't think he'll play that bad again. And, you know, Debo, Kittle, Ayuk, they're still ballers. That defense, you know, they got torched by him. But again, it's been hard to stop Lamar Jackson for a lot of teams this year. I don't beat them up entirely for it. So I'm not really that worried about the Niners. I still think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl and win it all. I'm not giving up on them. I'm going to still ride with this preseason pick that I've had since day 1 of the season. Okay? So not much really to add there. The Cowboys, they got really lucky they beat the Lions, okay? Because, first of all, on the drive before the Lions even remotely tie the game, McCarthy, why the fuck are you throwing a deep pass on 2nd or 3rd down it was? Why? And you throw it out of bounds. Why the fuck are you doing that? Run! Kick the fucking field goal! Clock is your friend. Make them burn timeouts. What the fuck are you doing? This is why I can't trust the Cowboys. This is why my cousins and my dad and all them, I keep telling them, I can't trust McCarthy in a meaningful fucking playoff run. And you want me to trust Prescott? He hasn't beat another elite team. He's never beaten elite teams in the playoffs. Why do I say this? Because it's true. Because it's true. Okay? You need this 2 seed more than anybody does this weekend. Because if you have to go on the road, you're going to be out in the divisional round. You need these 2 home playoff games. Because you cannot go on the road. Okay? You cannot. You'll beat Atlanta more likely, or New Orleans or Tampa. Although I think Tampa would make you struggle a little bit. I still think you beat Tampa, but it's closer than people think. Okay? But again, I think you need those 2 home playoff games. All right? You cannot afford to go on the road. We all know Dallas is not great away from home, but when they're home, they're lights out. I think that defense will play really good. I have no worries about them. I have worries about that offensive line and their running game not showing up these last couple weeks. All right? I know Prescott's not, and I don't trust Dak Prescott against good teams. All right? So if they play a team like Green Bay, please. New Orleans, Minnesota, Seattle, please. I'm not worried about them. Okay? I think you could beat them convincingly. Where I worry about them is if they play an Eagles, a Lions. I can't say the Rams because they'll be a 6 seed, but I think you could beat Philly the way Philly's looking right now. We'll get to them in a second. And then I think that the Lions almost beat them already. I mean, you don't think that teams would have that loss fresh in their mind, especially if they play them in the divisional round? I think Dallas would win slightly, but that's I would be a little concerned if I'm Dallas. I didn't like the way that they ended that Detroit game. I really didn't. I think they can definitely make the championship game, but I think they're going to need to play a lot better than what they've been playing recently, because the way they're looking recently, I wouldn't feel good if I'm a Cowboy fan. I would not feel good if I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm not joking. They look very okay. I don't think they don't look like a real NFC Championship team right now. I don't see it. I think there's other teams that are playing better than they are right now. Okay? But definitely they have the capability to do it. But they are not beating Frisco and Frisco. I don't see that. Nope. My cousin could be all delusional he wants and send me, oh yeah, we could beat the Niners. Like, oh look, Purdy's struggling and all that stuff. Okay? But I'm sorry. I don't think you guys are beating the Niners. Honestly speaking, I don't. Okay? Which brings me to the Lions. I think they could definitely make the second round. However, there's one team I would be a little worried first if I'm the Lions. The team that has your old quarterback. The Rams. If you play the Rams, guys, I might take the Rams. Because I think Sean McVay has a very unique ability to have a creative game plan that keeps his team in games offensively that people go, how the hell are they in this game? Okay, throw last year out. Okay, my uncle not picking them to make the playoffs last year, which he got right, I know. But this year, I mean, what he did this season with Nakua and Kyron Williams, who killed me in fantasy. Thank you, Kyron Williams. They are playing really good ball. I think Stafford knows the Lions well, okay? And I think he's going to be on a mission to beat his old team. But the Lions' defense worries me. I know they played well against Dallas for the most part, aside of a 92-yard touchdown pass. But the defense is okay. I think they can play really well. I just don't like them against the Rams because I think Sean McVay would have a very unique game plan to beat them, and plus McVay knows golf too. All right? And I think that the Rams with Kupp and Nakua, they can exploit that defense. I think that the Lions would have a hard time guarding those two receivers and, McVay mixing in that running game. I don't like them for the Lions defense, especially that the Lions can be, all right. I don't know what list I saw that had Aaron Glenn as the number one defensive coordinator in the league, but I think they're on drugs, whoever made that list. That is so not true at all. I think he's good. I just don't think he's the best defensive coordinator in the league. That's a joke. But he's good. I just think that defense is very susceptible in giving up big plays. I think that the offense, they have definitely the horses to score with Jamison Williams and St. Brown, Montgomery and Gibbs, right? But this is a young team, all right? And somehow the Lions in the playoffs, something always goes wrong, right? Although I do think this team can make it to the divisional round, but there's a higher ceiling than a team like Miami or Kansas City this season. They could make it to the championship game if they can constructively put something together that, finds them ways to win games, which they do know what they are. They can run the ball, power football at you. They can throw the ball with you. Their defense just worries me. Especially when you play the big boys, that's going to be very, very troubling for them, I think, as far as like them getting far. So, but they came within literally a couple yards and an illegal formation from beating the Cowboys. And they could be possibly fighting for the Niners for the 1 seed. But because you didn't get that 2-point conversion, Dallas is now the 2 seed with the game up on you, and the Niners clinched home field. So amazing what 1 2-point conversion could do for you. I don't think Campbell thought it through. I know he wanted to go win the game, but take the extra point and go for overtime. Dallas had no momentum at that point on their side, and it was slipping away, and they had everything going their way. So I didn't like that decision. I don't care if he likes it or not. That's just my opinion on that. Which brings me to the NFC South teams in New Orleans, Tampa, and Atlanta. Guys, I'm going to be real short with this. I don't think Atlanta would do any bit good in the playoffs. With Desmond Ridder, I think Bijan's good. Pitts, Drake London, right? They won't go far. All right? I don't think that they're that good, honestly. Okay? New Orleans, I think their defense is all right compared to previous years. I think they would keep them in the game. I just don't trust Derek Carr and company in a playoff game. I know they got Shaheed, who's a big play guy. Olave's solid. Kamara is just a shell of himself now. And then Tampa, Mayfield, he's just a wild card, right? He's a wild card. He can be really good, but he can also really force a couple passes and you go, yep, he's turnover machine, right? And I just think that their running game's all right. I just don't think that they're any bit of team that you fear right now. Their defense is just okay. I think you can move on them. I watched Green Bay run the ball down their throat, okay? And I watched Jordan Love pick them apart, all right? And I think that Tampa is just all right. So that's really the NFC South teams, right? And then I kind of nailed a couple wild cards out of the way, right? Philly. Brian Johnson sucks as a play caller, first of all. He sucks, okay? This dude, and this is another nugget I got to complain about as far as losing my fantasy by 1.2 points. How the fuck do A.J. Brown and DeAndre Swift have less than 2 points in the first half? How? Are you kidding me? Do you even know how to use your superstar players? Less than 2 points in the first half, and then third quarter they go, oh shit, we know how to use them now. I had to go to Christmas dinner to take my mind off it, and then all of a sudden Swift scores. Every time I was out of the room, good things happened. 2 points in the first half, less than that in the first half. Are you fucking kidding me, Brian Johnson? You suck. Come on, man. You got to know how to use your superstars, man. And that's what makes me think also, Sirianni's not that good as a head coach. He's just not. Okay? That same team he had last year, most of those guys were from that Super Bowl 52 team that was by Doug Peterson's team. Howie Roseman picked those players. Okay? All he did was just take a good team and he just wrote it off in a, nice Ferrari. He took the keys to the Ferrari and just took off with it. But he didn't build that Ferrari. He didn't set up the gas for that. Nothing. That was all done by Howie Roseman and Doug Peterson. Really, Howie Roseman built the team. Okay? But that's really what he did. Now look at this team. 10-1, they lost to fucking Arizona. Which actually, I'm kind of glad the Cardinals won because my team's in the number 3 pick with a chance to be number 2, which take for Caleb may be still alive for the moment. And even if we don't get Caleb Williams, I've got 3 other guys I know I want for quarterback. All right? But the Eagles are just, they are looking really bad. I mean, I feel like they could be one and done right now. I feel like if they play Tampa, I think it would be close. I could maybe see a scenario where Tampa could upset them. I think New Orleans and Atlanta they could beat. I don't think they could beat Tampa if they can get a really hot Tampa team. All right? That offense looks really, really shaky. Really susceptible bad. Jalen Hurts just looks not the same compared to last year. I read one thing where A.J. Brown got in a locker room argument that, fractured the team from within. DeAndre Swift, I can't believe he had less than 2 fantasy points. I don't know why they don't run him more. The defense, up front, I know they're legit, but that back end with Saile, Bradbury, Kevin Byard, how are you bad? How are you this bad? You got 3 Pro Bowlers in your secondary. Wow, I don't know how you're that bad. And guess what? You're stuck with Matt Patricia as defensive coordinator. Good riddance. Good luck dealing with him. Good luck dealing with him. I am so glad he's off my team. And the fact Belichick wanted to keep him as offensive coordinator. Laughable. Laughable. I read that report too. Good luck dealing with him, Philly. He's your defensive coordinator. Good luck with him. He's overrated. You'll find out real fast. All right? But possibly one and done. Possibly, out of the playoffs. Okay? You might be lucky to make the divisional round, but you're going to lose to probably Dallas or the Niners easily. You will. You're not that good of a team. The Niners expose you. Dallas beats you up the next week. You lost to even Seattle and Arizona recently. You guys are going the wrong way at the worst time. And Sirianni, we're starting to find out, maybe he's not that great of a head coach. Maybe he just was the one that just took the keys to the Ferrari and just let it ride. When really Howie Roseman built that Ferrari and set him up. Okay? Which brings me to the Rams. Now, I've kind of talked about them a little bit, but guys, I'm telling you right now, this is the sleeper of the playoffs. This team can seriously make a scary playoff run. Not joking. Okay? They are a really good football team. Stafford's playing well. Kyron Williams is running the ball well. Kupp and Nakua are back. All right? Their defense, Aaron Donald is still, Pro Bowl level, right? They got a lot of young guys up there, but let me tell you, this team absolutely can make a playoff run. They could give the Niners a little scared divisional round. I'm not saying they're going to beat them, but they could give them a little scared. I would lean the Niners, though, with Kyle Shanahan because Shanahan owns McVay, but I will say the Rams could make them sweat in that divisional round. They played close week 2, right? Now, granted, Wentz is playing Sunday against them. The Niners are probably resting people. But still, I would not rule out the Rams making a scary, deep playoff run, because they're a good football team, playing really well at the right time. All right? They could go beat Detroit in Detroit. Absolutely. They could definitely give the Niners a sweat. I'm not saying they're going to beat the Niners. They can definitely give them a run where they'll make them sweat. Sean McVay is a hell of a coach, guys. All right? Aaron Donald is still a Pro Bowl talent that is really, really good, okay? Don't rule them out. Don't rule them out. This is the sleeper of the playoffs, guys. I'm telling you. If they play the Lions, I'm going to tell you right now, that's your first upset. All right? That's your first major shocking upset. Okay? Book it. All right? Now for the 7th seed. Seattle, Green Bay, and Minnesota. The Vikings are done. Kyle, I know you probably might be watching the show. He's my Vikings fan. He told me just sell the franchise. This team sucks. Yeah, it's bad. They're basically out. Their defense is better, yes, but this team is going to have a major overhaul again in the offseason. Kirk Cousins might be gone. Jefferson's going to be due for a big contract, right? Their running game is all right. I do like Jordan Addison. I just think they have a lot of holes on this roster, offensive line-wise, right? Their secondary shaky. And I just think that, they're going to have to make some tough decisions in the offseason, but their quarterback, they need to get a backup plan and get ready to go. Dobbs, Mullins, whoever they have, it's not working. It's not working, and I think O'Connell's a good offensive mind, but I'm writing them off, which means it's coming down to Seattle and Green Bay. Jordan Love, he's been playing good recently, right? But you're going to have all the pressure now coming right down Sunday when you play the Bears. Chicago's playing really good football right now, quietly, although they're out. They're playing good too. You know, he went off against them week 1 and everybody made a big deal. You know what I mean? I just think that you're lucky, you know, you're at home this time. But I'm going to say this. If you don't put on a good showing that last week of the season, those Green Bay fans are going to get very impatient with you. Okay? I think he's going to get – I don't think they're going to go far in the playoffs. I think they're going to be a nice little, like, team that, you know, people are like, oh, wow. They made the playoffs on Aaron Rodgers. I wouldn't say that just yet. They got a nice little team building, but I don't think that they are, you know, a foregone, you know, answer. Okay, Seattle's got Arizona. I think Seattle's got a little bit of a favorable game. I'm a little worried about the defense with them, but offensively, I think Geno's good, but only Geno can take you so far, right? I know that Seattle's got material and stuff, right? I think that Seattle has the likelihood of getting to that 7th seed than the Packers because I think Green Bay is just a good team. I don't think they could be a great team. I think they're a couple pieces away, but I think Seattle, with the material they have, they could definitely make it to that 7th spot. But Geno can only take you so far. That's why I think Seattle has a favorable path to get there than Green Bay. But I think that Jordan Love, he has no idea what it's like to deal with win or go home pressure expectations on his shoulders. Good luck. All right, I know I got one fucking Packers fan that's texting me, we got 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a row. Okay, let's see how you are 4 or 5 years from now. Let's see if you really believe that. All right, you could be, he's delusional, guys. I'll be roasting him in the summer when I go to work. All right, trust me. He will be absolutely, I will roast him this summer. So get ready. All right, Kyle, you know who I'm talking about. All right, so yeah, you know. All right, guys, so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you guys the playoff clinching scenario since I had them saved on my phone. So give me a few minutes while I do this. But there's a lot of clinching scenarios. I know this for a fact that the Bills are out if the Jaguars and the Steelers both win. And the Texans-Colts game, I believe, does not end in a tie. I know that if winner of the Tex-Colts is definitely locked in as a playoff spot. I know that if Tampa wins, they clinch the South. So I just want to make sure I get this 100% accurate for you guys. I know that my team has to root for a couple teams to secure the 2nd pick over Washington, but I'm not going to get over that. I'm not going to go over that because nobody really cares unless you're like Patriot fans and a fan of tanking. Okay, here we go, guys. Let me pull this up real fast. I'm trying to multitask for you guys right here. Okay, so I'm going to walk this through slowly, all right? So the Buffalo Bills clinched the number 2 seed and the AFC East Division title with a win, okay? They clinch a playoff berth with a tie or a Pittsburgh loss or a Jacksonville loss or a Colts-Texans tie, okay? So realistically, they have to tie against Miami. They're not going to tie against Miami. The Colts-Texan game has to end in a tie. Don't think that's going to happen. Pittsburgh can lose to the Ravens. I don't like those chances. Jacksonville can lose. That could happen. So Bills are in a win or go home situation almost, unless they can get some help, really, which that would be really that. So really the Bills, you're rooting obviously to win or Pittsburgh to lose or Jacksonville to lose. That's really what I'm going to say. The Texans, they can clinch the AFC South with a win plus the Jaguars lose to the Titans. Okay? So they only can clinch the division with a win and a Jaguars loss. They can clinch a playoff berth with a win or a tie plus a Jaguars loss plus a Pittsburgh loss. So basically, you just have to win or hopefully you get lucky and you tie plus Jaguars and Steelers both lose. I don't know if you really want that. So really you have to just beat the Colts and then pray the Jaguars lose and hope for the division. Okay? The Colts can clinch the AFC South title with a win plus a Jaguars loss or a tie plus a Jaguars loss. So really you need a win plus a Jacksonville loss. The Colts can clinch a playoff berth with a win or a tie plus a Pittsburgh loss or tie. So basically the Colts are in the same situation as the Texans. Win plus the Jaguars losing or just winning to get in the playoffs plus Pittsburgh to lose or tie with the Texans. So really that's that. Okay? You guys got that? Okay. Jaguars clinch the AFC South with a win or a tie plus a Colts-Texans tie. You just have to win. Okay? Being simple. Jacksonville clinches a playoff berth with a Pittsburgh loss, a Denver loss or tie, plus a Texans-Colts does not end in a tie. Or a tie plus Pittsburgh loss. Or tie. So really, Jacksonville, you have to win to clinch the division. If you lose, you need Pittsburgh to lose to the Ravens, Denver to lose to the Raiders, plus the Texans-Colts does not end in a tie. I don't like those odds either. You have to win. That's really it. You have to win, and then you have to pray for a lot of teams. Denver to lose, Pittsburgh to lose, and the Colts-Texans doesn't end in a tie, which you'll know 2 of those going into Sunday. Okay? Miami clinches the division with a win. Simple, that's why it's the last game of the season. The Steelers can clinch a playoff berth with a win plus a Bills loss. Likely. Win plus Jaguars loss. Likely. Win plus Texans-Colts tie. Don't know about that. A tie plus a Jaguars loss plus Texans-Colts doesn't end in a tie. Don't think that'll happen. Jacksonville loss. Could happen. Plus Denver win. Could happen. Plus Texans-Colts doesn't end in a tie. That also could happen. So really, Pittsburgh needs Buffalo to lose, Jacksonville to lose, Colts-Texans to not end in a tie, Denver to win. That's your scenarios. Okay? So you have a lot of action you need too. All right? The NFC side of things. Falcons basically clinch the division with a win plus a Bucs loss. Simple. Cowboys clinch the NFC East with a win or Philly loss. Okay? Simple. Packers clinch a playoff berth with a win or Minnesota loss or tie plus Seattle loss or tie plus Tampa Bay loss or tie or Vikings lose, Seahawks lose, and Saints lose. So really, you got to win or you got to hope Minnesota, Seattle, Tampa Bay, and New Orleans lose. Really, you need Minnesota and Seattle to lose. And then either Tampa Bay or New Orleans to lose. That's really like simplifying things down a bit for you guys. Okay? Minnesota clinches a playoff berth with a win, plus the Packers lose, plus the Seahawks lose, plus Tampa Bay or New Orleans loses. There are 2 scenarios, but I'm saying Tampa Bay or New Orleans because there's 2 scenarios technically they clinch. Really, they need to win, plus the Packers to lose, Seattle to lose, and then either Tampa Bay or New Orleans to lose. Okay? That's simplifying it. Saints clinch the NFC South with a win plus Tampa Bay loss. Simple. Saints clinch a playoff berth with a win plus Seahawks loss plus Green Bay loss. So basically Saints need to win plus Seattle and Green Bay to lose. Okay? Eagles clinch the NFC East with a win plus Cowboys loss. Simple. Seahawks clinch a playoff berth with a win plus Packers loss. Or a tie plus Green Bay and Tampa Bay lose loss or tie. Or a tie plus Green Bay loss plus New Orleans loss. Really? You got to win and Green Bay's got to lose. Simple. Bucs clinch the NFC South with a win or New Orleans loss or tie. So really, Tampa, you just have to win and New Orleans to lose. Okay? Tampa Bay clinches a playoff berth with a tie plus Seahawks loss plus Green Bay loss. Really, you just got to win and New Orleans has to lose. Bucs have to tie and then plus Seattle and Green Bay loss. So really just win or New Orleans loses, and then you got to pray that Seattle or Green Bay both lose. All right? So that's really the clinching scenarios, guys. I mean, you guys can look up NFL.com playoff clinching scenarios if you guys need any more like updates there. So now what we're going to do is, guys, I am going to pick the games literally live on the ESPN website since I don't have the scores written in front of me, so I'm just going to kind of wing this a little bit. Starting off with the Steelers and the Ravens. Lamar sitting. I'm going to pick the Steelers to win. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think the Steelers are going to win 23-13 because I think that they're going to need this game. They're going to play really hard for Mike Tomlin to try to get in the playoffs. I'm going to go with the Steelers winning 23-13 over the Ravens. Ravens don't need it. Why do they need to get anybody hurt? 23-13, Steelers over the Ravens. Texans, Colts. Oh, this is a good game. You know what? I'm going to put the balls on the table. I'm going to have the guts to take the Texans plus the points. Oh, wait. They're minus 1.5 on ESPN Bet? Wow. I thought they would be underdogs. I'm going to take the Texans. I like C.J. Stroud and company. I think this is a very impressive football team. I like the way that they're playing recently. I'm going to take the Texans to win this game 27-24 over the Colts. I think that the Texans will be able to score with them. I think the Colts are going to put up a fight. It's their game, basically their season's on the line. This will be a fun game to watch. 27-24, Texans over the Colts. All right, let's get to Sunday's action. Browns, Bengals. Browns arresting people. They don't need to really, get anybody hurt. So really, this game is kind of a crapshoot. I'm going to take Cincinnati to win. I'm going to go 24-13. Just because Cleveland's backups, I don't think will score a lot. So give me 24-13 Cincinnati over the Browns. Vikings, Lions. Lions are going to be fighting for that 2 seed. Vikings are going to be fighting for their lives. Lions already went into Minnesota and beat them. I'm going to take the Lions to win because I think they're going to be so mad they got robbed from last Saturday's action. I'm going to go with the Lions to win 30-23 over the Vikings. I just don't think the Vikings can score enough with them. So it's the same as last time, I think. So give me 30-23 Lions over the Vikings. Jaguars, Titans. Ooh, 4-point favorites they are. Lawrence is iffy. I just read now. Ooh. I'm going to go, guys. I don't like Jacksonville the way they're playing. I might sound crazy. I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans to win. I think the Titans win. I think the Titans win 23-20. They win on a Nick Folk field goal. Jacksonville is, I think, out of the playoffs. So I'm going to go with the Titans to win 23-20 over the Jaguars. Jets, Patriots. I never thought I would ever say this on my own show. This could be Bill Belichick's last game as Patriots head coach. There's a meeting Monday, so we have to see how that goes. I predicted 5-12 on the year. I know we're locked into a top 5 pick. I would like us to lose so we can get the number 2 pick, but I'm going to take my team to win. I think we're going to win somehow. Jets are going to be tough to score against. I think we're going to win 20-10 because who do the Jets have starting? Zach Wilson's out, right? They're going to release our Tim Boyle against us. 20-10, New England. They win in Belichick's last game in New England, possibly. Falcons, Saints. I'm going New Orleans because I don't trust Desmond Ridder. If it's Heineke, it might be tough. I'm going to take, in this case, I'm going to take New Orleans. I think they're going to win 26-16. I'm going 26-16 Saints. Bucks, Panthers. Carolina is awful. Tampa is going to be fighting for their playoff lives. I've got Tampa winning 27-16 over the Carolina Panthers. Tampa wins to go to the playoffs, and they win the division. Whoa. My computer's whacking out right now. It's not good. Bears, Packers. Justin Fields played really good for me this year in fantasy. I'm really happy that he did well. He's been playing really good football lately for the Bears. Guess what? I'm going to shock everybody again. Last week of the season, let's go upsets. Give me the Chicago Bears to own the Green Bay Packers on the last week of the season. Give me Chicago to upset Green Bay. I'm going 24-20. Chicago Bears upset the Packers and eliminate them from playoff contention. Broncos, Raiders. Jarrett Stidham versus Aiden O'Connell. Shitball. Don't care. with 17-16 first meeting. I'm going in this one. I think the Raiders are going to win 19-12. I don't think you're going to see a lot of scoring in this game. Give me the Raiders 19-12 over the Denver Broncos. Eagles-Giants. Come on, bro. Come on. You guys, if you guys cannot beat the Giants, then you are asking to be one and done. I'm going to go with the Eagles to win. What, they scored 30-something last time? I think they can get to 31 on the Giants. I think it's going to be a 31-20 type of ball game. I think Tyrod will at least get you 20, but I don't think he'll get you enough to win the game. 31-20, Eagles over the Giants. Seahawks, Cardinals. Oh, I love Seattle this week. I think Seattle is going to win this game. I know Arizona's been a place they've struggled with, but I'm going with Seattle to win. I'm gonna go 28. I'm gonna go 28-19 over the Cardinals. I think that Seattle will play really good football. I think that, they're going to pull away with a late touchdown. Chiefs, Chargers. Mahomes is probably not playing. Okay, Chargers are 3.5. No, actually, Mahomes isn't playing. For once, I like going against the Chief bandwagons, but I don't think they could do it. So, who is it? Blaine Gabbert starting? Chiefs win, but it'll be low scoring. Give me 17-10 over the Chargers. Low scoring. Rams, Niners. Carson Wentz is playing in for Matt Stafford. I expect the Niners to really not play a lot of people. So I'm going to think this is a little low scoring than the normal. So I'm going to go with the Niners 23-17. I'm going to go with. This might be closer than the experts have it, but I'm going to go 23-17 Niners over the Rams. Cowboys, Commanders. 13-point favorites, Dallas. Oh, my. Last time they played in Washington, they got smoked. Sam Howell, again, is starting for the Commanders. Dallas, you cannot lay the egg this week. You cannot. I'm sure that they are well aware of it, but I think that I would take the 13 with Washington. I'm going to go with the Cowboys to win. Cowboys win 21-13. I think they're going to have to fight this one out. They're going to really need to fight this one out. They're going to be sweating this week. I've got the Cowboys 21-13. I'd take the 13 with Washington if I was a betting person. Bills at Miami, last game of the season. Give me Buffalo. I think this is going to be a great game once again. I've got this game right around in the 30s. I've got it, I'm going to go 31-28 Buffalo. Highest scoring game of the weekend. I think the Bills are going to light it up. I think they're waiting to explode offensively. I'm going to go with the Bills 31-28 over the Dolphins. I really like them this week. So, yeah, that's my picks. All right, guys. So, next week, we're going to do our playoff prediction show. I'm trying to get a couple guests to get on with me next week to talk about this. I know it's been a while since we've had guests on. But next week, playoff prediction show. I will give my playoff bracket. I will probably have my guests do the same thing. Guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification bell, so that way you guys can get all the latest updates you guys need for Loungetime. We still got some playoff content, so don't miss out on that. You can also follow us on X at Loungetime Pod. I make some tweets that I like to talk about, some NFL action I hear. So make sure you guys give us a follow. If you guys give us a question, I might even answer it on the show. All right? Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Loungetime. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's been a long time, but I'm back. We'll be back for the playoffs. Guys, I will see you next week on the next episode of Loungetime. Have a great playoff weekend, everybody.